In this episode, we discuss how you select your target audience as a nutrition coach. Welcome to AskTheLJs. It's episode 18. I'm Luke.
I'm Lawrence.
And Lawrence, let's get down to business with a Z.
With two Z's.
Z, yeah.
Business.
Space. 2 words, 2 Zs. Simple.
Righto. So, today we have a question from Philippa, aka Fitness Philippa on Twitter. I'm going to hold that up to the camera so everybody can see her and go give her a cheeky follow. I'm fairly sure that's her Snapchat handle as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go follow her on Snapchat too.
Now
So-
refocus.
She wants to know, how do I figure out my target audience when it comes to being a nutrition coach?
Right, Philippa. Lawrence was like, I hope you got stuff for this one. So there's one coming up in the next episode or a few episodes after. I'm just like, yeah, I might just go back and do some work while I'll let you talk about that topic. But yeah, Fitness Philippa, thanks for following us on multiple social media platforms. I know you snapped me a few times as well, so thank you for that. It would be exactly the same thing for any business. So I'm going to keep it specific to nutrition coaching. So nutrition coaching is a wide topic, like it's very wide. There's so many different subcategories. So is it what you're going to really need to work out, and what you probably should do for the majority of people is try not to be too general when you start off, especially if you want to make a name of for yourself. So if you just try to be that nutrition god, like an Alan Aragon.
Yeah. No, but just going to be Alan.
Yeah, no one's Alan. You haven't. So Fitness Philippa, you don't have the jawline of Alan. So leave it there.
You don't have the forearms.
Yeah, but then even then, especially with the competition nowadays, and you're probably thinking, oh, how do I stand out? There's so many nutrition coaches, so many online personal trainers, and that is true. But if you can be that nutrition coach for mums, or anti and postnatal, or that nutrition coach for just endurance athletes, or that nutrition coach for female endurance athletes, looking at what's it called, female triad.
Yeah.
I got
Female triad.
Yeah. So you could be that go-to nutrition coach for female endurance athletes. So my advice to you would be try and niche it down as much as possible, because when you niche something down, and the good thing about being a nutrition coach, you can do Skype consultations, you can do whatever it is. So another thing you've got to be looking at is, are you going to just be a nutrition coach in a facility? Because if you're in a facility as a nutrition coach, then basically the demographic, the people in that area are going to dictate whether you're going to get clients or not. So if you live in, or if you're working out of a place where it's predominantly older people, because there's places like that in the UK alone and in the world, then if you try, then that's probably going to be your target audience. So offline is very much depending on who is in like a 3-mile radius, for example, who's willing to travel. But if we're looking at online, you can be as niched as much as you want, because you've got the whole world to target. So if you're just trying to do nutrition coaching for endurance female athletes in your local area, but you had no endurance athletes, or you had like 5 females which were fitted your target audience, then again, that's not a good business. So you've got to look at it, whether it's offline or online. It's like any business. If you can just really become that niche person, you can now start making a name for yourself. So you can be that go-to girl for nutrition coaching for female endurance athletes. Hopefully Philippa likes endurance athletes.
Well, failing that,
it could be anything.
Yeah. I mean, the way
Absolutely
that a lot of
anything.
people start out is by just offering their services for free to a few guinea pigs.
Yeah.
From all walks of life, to get a whole bunch of experience. And because, again, when you're just starting out, certainly the way I felt when I was just starting out is I didn't feel like I was able to charge people for it, because I had very little experience. I had no name for myself or whatever,
Yeah.
and so I thought, right, I'm just gonna see what it's like and just help some people for free. Plus, I'm a nice person and I like helping people.
You don't see what he's like in this HQ. He comes in, he thinks he owns the show.
I'm saying nothing.
The only way you're going to find out is if you pop down to the HQ. But you can only come in if you've got calculator bars. That's the rule.
That's the rule.
But I think another good point as well is when you're starting out, you may think, and this is like personal training as well, so I know I'm going off a little bit off a tangent here, but you may think everyone wants to train athletes. I want to be the S&C guy. But then the likelihood of you being that S&C guy is very slim. Just because it's not as much demand.
Not
I mean, because athletes, and another thing you'll get as well. I've personally not worked with like many athletes like powerlifters, bodybuilders, but that's a whole nother talk. But when it comes to guys I know who do that stuff, like Joseph Agu, like Chris Burgess, who's worked with some athletes as well, is that you've then got a whole host of new issues. You think, oh, they love doing what they're doing. They don't need nutrition coaching. But Joe would say that, but even when he's working with like Team GB athletes, because they've been so genetically gifted from a young age and they've got to that sort of upper level, elite level in regards to Great Britain, but from a world perspective, they're still far off from other countries. They don't really see, they think that, oh, I don't need to do strength and conditioning, or I don't need to do nutrition because they've always been that best kid in class.
Yeah.
So their motivation they don't really see the value in nutrition coaching or S&C as much as someone else who maybe had been that sort of grassroots level person who's just trying to get a little bit better, trying to make it. So there's all different things like that. So just to summarise, Philippa, you've got to work out who it is you want to work with. If you've not worked with many people, then work with different types of people and see which ones you actually enjoy working with, see which ones you get the best results with, because they're probably the people that are going to be more attracted to hiring you as a coach, nutrition coach.
Plus, it gives you a ton of experience as a coach as well.
Yeah, coaching's coaching.
Coaching is a skill.
Yeah.
And it's a skill that
you can't get when you read an anatomy and physiology book.
It definitely needs to be learned on the job. Like, I used to be very, very argumentative on the internet about a lot of things. But the biggest single factor that changed my views on so many of the things that I used to argue about was just working with real people. Because so many of the things that you see argued about on Facebook can be solved or resolved just by getting some experience with working with people. Like, that doesn't come from a textbook. So go out, work with a whole bunch of people, decide which ones you enjoy working with the best, figure out.
And then is there a big enough market for it?
Or, and if there is, where is that market?
Or is it big enough market for you to be happy? If you're happy with £20,000 a year, but you're doing a job you love, then that's it. If you're like, I want 6 figures, then if you're trying to do a
6-figure business,
if you're just trying to, so again, you got to find out what it is you want, who you like to work with, experiment, work with different types of people. But then when you know, you go all in on that, and everything you put out on Facebook, on Snapchat, on anything you do, any social media, on your website, everything should be tailored for that target audience. So if it's females, think about your branding, think about the words, think about where is your target audience, thinking about what type of things would they want to know in reforms of. Do they prefer videos? Do they prefer blogs? What is your skill set? Are you better on video? Then do video. If you're really good at writing, but you're like, talk like this on the video, and then don't do video. But you see it a lot.
Yeah.
So Philippa, that's it. Take that as you will. If you've got any further questions from that, let us know. Snap me at Shred by Science. Snap me Facebook at Shred by Science.
Snappers, baby.
See you soon.